All right, folks. Oh, welcome back to another round of the OverMark Podcast. And you know I can't do this circus alone. I got to bring in the man who still swears 1999 was the peak of human civilization. Hey, you get no arguments here. And the guy who treats gas station snacks like a food group and somehow manages to turn every conversation into a back in my day story. He's still powered by nostalgia, chaos, yeets, and sheer stubbornness since dial-up internet. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, the one, the only, TJ.
Wow, thanks guys. I appreciate that introduction. And the only thing that could have made that introduction any better was not me, by the way, but someone else. Me. That'll be the only thing that would, make it better. But
so if somebody does that for you, well, you know, there's a lot of people out there in the land of Overmania. Maybe somebody will hook you up. Who knows? And speaking of getting hooked up, we're going to hook you guys up today with a fat episode. But before we get into that, how's it going, TJ? How was your weekend?
It was pretty cool. We went on that trip, and like everybody else pretty much backed out except me, my dad, and my one dad's friend. And he was all annoying the whole time. We just went, me and my dad. But beyond that, it was a pretty good trip. It was beautiful. We were up in the Cherokee, the reservation and all that. And we went to the casino and their dispensary, and just a really beautiful place that they don't touch much, so it's a lot of just untouched nature, and it was pretty neat. And I enjoyed it. The place we were at was pretty nice, and overall, it was the food was cool. I kept sending you pictures of that, and that's the best baked ziti I ever had, man.
I love baked ziti. Love Italian food.
Let me tell you something.
Oh,
yeah,
what's
it was
that?
good. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed myself. What'd you get into?
Oh, I spent my weekend holed up in my bedroom playing Ascension WoW on the private server thing. It turned out to be way more fun than what I thought it was going to be. It's kind of a problem. I'm spending way too much of my free time doing it right now. Yeah.
Whatever. You only live once, I'm pretty sure.
Well, it's the fresh launch of it, so it's the beginning. There's that initial push and rush that, you don't get at any other time of the game that is kind of enjoyable. Also, remember in 2019 when Classic WoW first came out, and for that first little bit, people were nice to each other and they were helpful, and it hadn't devolved into just people being complete shit to each other.
Yeah.
It's like that right now. Everybody's real nice. So it's like the coolest version of whatever this is that's probably going to happen.
Well, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some of the homies are doing it.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to. In 2030, we'll be playing WoW together again, though, sometime after then. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'm in there, so I hear you guys. It sounds like you're having fun.
Yeah. Sometimes we're spurging a little bit. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well,
the nature of online video games, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of the nature of online, go ahead. Yeah, exactly. We're going to move on and tell you about what's going on with today's show. We got SmackDown from October 10th, 2025, Collision from October 11th, 2025, WWE Crown Jewel from October 11th, 2025, and hell, maybe we'll even talk about a TNA Bound for Glory from October 12th, 2025 a little bit. We'll have the news, and then we're going to get the hell out of here till the next episode, because that's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it definitely is. that being said,
I got my
we
headphone cord here.
we want everybody
Anyway.
to follow them social medias. We got that OverMark ENT. If you're watching this, chances are you may have heard us say that before. We appreciate it if you check it out, and if you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah, and if you don't, we don't like you. No, I'm just kidding. Oh,
Oh wow, they are,
yeah,
not us.
yeah, not us. Yeah, no, that's the people talking.
Nobody's got AIDS.
Oh, and you hung up on him.
Well, yeah.
Tony was mad. He's like, somebody said it to him, and he hung up. Then he said nobody's got it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to hear about that again.
I don't want to hear that word here again.
Oh wow, yeah. See, he told us, and then he hangs right on up. That's a good crisp hang up there. You don't get that with the modern cell phone. You know, there's no
Yep.
You know,
No
that
hang up.
that is not satisfying.
It is not.
You want him to really hear the. Anyway, we're gonna hang up on that topic and we're gonna move on into SmackDown here. Do you want to do that or you want to take Collision?
I'll do Collision.
All right, we got a lot to jump into, so we're gonna jump into it. We got SmackDown from October 10th, 2025. The attendance was a sold out 13,683 at the RAC Arena in Perth, Western Australia. That's where they were for the pay-per-view, and that's where they actually are for Raw today as well. So we got the quick match results here. We opened SmackDown up with a pretty decent Cody promo. I can't remember everything that he said because we watched 4 wrestling shows since this one, but I remember it was an okay kind of by the numbers Cody Rhodes starting off SmackDown promo when you don't have the guy that you're wrestling also involved in the segment. I don't know. It's all right. What'd you think?
It's a Cody Rhodes promo. Wasn't
Yep.
bad. It was just him out there doing his thing.
Yep. Not bad at all. Well, and then we move on to the United States Championship Open Challenge thing that Sami Zayn's been doing every week. And Shinsuke Nakamura came out and challenged him this week. And it was actually a really good match. I shouldn't say that I was blown away by how good it was because these guys both can wrestle a good match. But this was like a better than your average SmackDown match. I dare say pay-per-view quality. However, it ended in a no contest because there was outside interference by some masked person. I read who it was. Can't remember who it was. I remember when I read who it was that I didn't care or wasn't really blown away. So that's probably why I don't remember. What'd you think?
This is a pretty good match. I enjoyed it, and Shinsuke came out to his like old NXT song, so the people like that, or yeah, he did, and I don't know, it was cool. He was a little bit more like his old self as opposed to that the whole Japanese. Not to say that he's not Japanese all the time or whatever he's doing, but you know that weird, spooky, ancient thing he's been doing. I don't know how to describe it without sounding racial or stereotypical or whatever it may be. But overall, you know, we're both Nakamura fans and Sammy, and this is a pretty good match.
First time we've seen him in a while, so that,
Yeah.
you know, pretty cool.
He's not
good,
around
Good
a
little
lot.
comeback. Nope. And speaking of coming back, we got Stephanie Vakir teaming with Tiffany Stratton versus Julia and Kiana James, and Stephanie and Stratton got the win. I didn't mind this. It was a decent little match. There's a whole lot of going on in this match. I enjoyed it for the most part, but you know, wasn't great. It's standard kind of SmackDown tag team match, I would feel, right?
I feel like you're going to hear this a lot, but this is definitely a pretty average match by every metric, I feel like. But the crowd was into it, so there was that.
Yep. Well, then the next match we had the Street Profits with B-Fab bleh, versus the Wyatt Six, and the Wyatt Six retained. I don't know. Everybody that I talk to doesn't like the Wyatt Six. I know we have a small friend group, but I just this was not for me. The Street Profits did the best they could with what they had available to them, you know. But this is the bathroom break.
This is the best stuff on the show. The Wyatt Six are compelling television. You know, they should get an Emmy for the stuff that they're doing, and you know, just keep doing it because I'm sure that if they do, eventually, people won't want to gouge their eyes out.
Oh,
Jump.
Certainly don't know
Jump.
about that. But then for the main event, we had Damian Priest versus Aleister Black in a last man standing match that Aleister Black ultimately won. They had Zelina Vega kind of come out and beg off for Aleister while he was about to get like choke slammed off of this big thing through some tables. And then Damian Priest hit him with the old school fire flash to the face deal.
Aleister Black hit
Black
Damian
Mass.
Priest with it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And then
That was cool.
he gave him the black mass off of the thing, and he fell through the table. It was rad.
When I was
Yeah, this
growing
was a
up,
good match.
the guy associated with that was Jerry Lawler. You know,
Yeah.
he used to do that back in the day, and that's who I had been exposed to seeing him do it first. Not that I watched him back in the day, but that's just the person I first saw doing it. But
Right.
yeah, it was pretty cool, and hopefully these guys are done working with each other for a while. It'd be nice to see Aleister Black move on to something new.
Yeah. And, you know, they said that they were going to put him in more high-level promos or programs. I'd say this was a decently high-level program.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they need to have a pay-per-view blow-off match, though? Or would you think that this would have been
He
the
just hit him with
blow-off
fire.
match?
When's that going to happen?
Yeah.
He's probably going to go
I don't
away
know.
for
They
a
do
month.
like Hell in the Cell now or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're right. But anyway, we're going to move on to high point, low point. And my high point was the main event. Good stuff. Enjoyed the fireball. Enjoyed the black mass off of the little staging area through the table. Overall, really good match, especially for a television match. And what was your high point?
Mine was a Zayn Nakamura one. I thought it was a pretty solid match, and the crowd was got a real nice pop for Nakamura when he came out because he hasn't been there for a while, and you know he had the old music and all
Yeah.
that. And he dressed up a little bit different, so that was cool. And it was just I enjoyed the match mainly.
None of those people probably thought that they were going to see him there. So
No.
that's like one of those genuine surprise pops.
Well, that being said, I'll start with my low point here if you want, and mine was the Profits versus the Wyatt Six. And you know we go over this a lot, so you guys don't need to hear us shit on them anymore. But the Wyatt Six just isn't working. There's nothing really there. It's just kind of like soulless wrestling television. And then you got the Street Profits, who I feel like we're actually on a kind of little decent run there for a while compared to any other tag team you had in a while. And it's just working with these guys is a dead end.
Yep, mine was the same. I'm wired it out, and I don't know. Maybe it's not for me, and I don't get it, but I think that they suck, and I know that I'm not the only one. So, rankings. What did you rank this show, TJ?
I think we got the same one this week. I rated mine a 4.
Yeah, I did too. It was almost an average episode of SmackDown, which keep in mind average is is solid, and we're
Yeah.
at least looking for average. So compared to how the show has been, this is better than what we've been seeing a little bit. I don't know if they got some of that new writing team in there, or this was just a result of some what we've been reading online, but who knows? Either way, hopefully this upward trend continues.
Well,
But probably not.
I think speaking of something that's not an upward trend, we're going to jump
Oh,
on
boy.
to Collision here. And they had an attendance of 2,797, and they had a setup for 3,198, so they had 401 left. So this was on October 11th, like we talked about earlier, and it was taped October 8th at Daly's Place, so they had it the same night as Dynamite. This was in Jacksonville, their homecoming branded episode. So we got these quick match results here that we're going to dive right into, and it's Josh Alexander versus Kota Ibushi. Josh Alexander wins by countout, when Ibushi kind of plopped out and broke his femur.
Yeah, I mean it looked real nasty.
I feel bad for the guy because he's been getting hurt
Yeah,
over
you hate
and
to
over
see any
again.
of that. And this is going to be one of those ones. He's going to be out for a while, probably. I mean, this is a
Well, there's good news.
pretty severe injury.
There's good news in this. He's getting paid. That contract,
Yep.
he'll get paid for it. Tony Khan's definitely not going to screw anybody out of any money. So at least he's got that going for himself. I hope he gets well soon, and Josh Alexander finally won a match.
Yep.
How
How about that?
Seeing him without the headgear on, he looks like some kind of weird, like, meth freak. Like, have you seen?
That's
he just
probably
doesn't
why
look
he
the
wears the
same.
headgear.
Yeah, well, maybe if he didn't wear the headgear, I wouldn't be expecting it. it wouldn't be. You know what I mean? I think it's because I've seen him with it on, almost exclusively. But speaking of something that we're gonna move on to, it's Max Caster and Anthony Bowens versus Big Bill and Brian Keith. Caster and Bowens win by pinfall. So I guess that they're kind of getting this going, huh?
Good. You know, we've been saying for a while, basically every time that we saw these guys, why did they break up the Acclaimed and why are they not back together? So we're getting what we asked for, and yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. Too bad they couldn't have went their separate ways and done something big and then eventually got together. But I guess you got to take what you can get, huh?
Yeah.
And,
there's still time for that again someday. Maybe. Who knows?
Speaking of taking what we can get, Tay Mello and Anna Jay versus Carolina Cruz and Dreamgirl Ellie. Mello and Jay won. It is exactly what you would expect this to be. Just some chicks running around, and every time they do something, they yell, and they have a couple little cool spots in the match, and it really wasn't like terrible, but it's just nothing that you would have been like, wow, that was great. Something else would have been
a lot of jiggling.
Yeah, that would have been more what you would have been paying attention to, I believe.
Yep.
I think that takes us into our high point here. What was yours?
Well, Anna Jay's asked, I guess. This
wow.
show was not great.
Well, I think this is the second week that this guy's gotten my high point, and that is the ending of this show. It sucked. This was a bad episode of wrestling. It's almost like they put next to no effort into booking this. But speaking of that, we're going to go to the low point here. Why don't you tell me what yours is?
Yeah, mine was Ibushi getting injured. It didn't look great. Sucks when these guys get hurt, even if you're not crazy about what they do.
Yeah. It's and it was just for some random tape match on TV. That's the kicker, It wasn't for like some big life-defining match that he would be remembered for. The only thing that will be remembered about this is some diehard fans down the road. But speaking of that, I'll go to my low point, and it's a pretty interesting one here. It's Tay Mello and Anna Jay versus Random Gores.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you
Think
tell
he
me
meant
what.
to type girls.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance that's what it is. But I don't know. I say this all the time, and I know sometimes you got to have these random matches to get these girls like an enhancement win. But just they have girls on the roster that they could easily have be there and put these girls over. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's weird.
You don't need random talent to enhance them with, but because there's really nothing for me to care about. But at least they got out there and did their thing, I guess. There just wasn't a lot of them in the show to really pick apart. It was all pretty terrible shit.
Yep. Not a whole lot of things to sink your teeth into.
And then
except for maybe some asses.
That being said, we're going to rock, paper, scissors reveal our ratings here. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, you got me.
No, I'm saying we're just going to do the number.
Oh.
But yeah, we
shit.
You're good, man.
I don't know.
We both gave it a 2.
Yeah. And
that's been it every week for a while.
It just sucks, man. Collision is the hardest thing to watch. And we're going to move on to something that wasn't very hard to watch. We had WWE Crown Jewel from October 11th, 2025, with a sellout attendance of 13,683 at the RAC Arena in Perth, Western Australia, just like SmackDown and all that jazz. And our first match, we had Big Bronson Reed defeating the OTC Roman Reigns in an Australian street fight match that actually turned out better than I had expected it to. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was good, and I thought that this was the low, kind of spoiler, this was a low point of the night, so that would lead you to believe that all the matches were good. I thought this was good, and this was the low point, right?
Yeah, that's fair. It was very hard for me. The low point was actually the hardest part for me to pick of this show, I think. And it was kind of between this and the match that I ended up picking. But anyway, I ended up not picking this match because, it furthered the story of what's going on here a little bit more. And,
Reigns was, I don't want to see you till Christmas. I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, the little like bash that he gave them after the match because they accidentally cost him. It was great. And then The next match, we had the Women's World Champion, Stephanie Vaquer, defeating WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton, to win the WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship. This was a really good match. I can't say enough good things about Stephanie. Tiffany is really coming along too. They both delivered pretty well, and she hit that finishing move again. The name is escaping me. The aerial one that Stephanie does that she busts out rarely, but now has done 2 PLEs in a row.
I think it's like the spinal corkscrew or something like that.
The spiral tap,
or something
the spinal
like that.
tap. Yeah, but yeah,
this was a good match. And I know I say this a lot, but I feel like they had a pretty solid match, but it was like what you would expect this match to be. It didn't blow me away by any means, but I feel like Stephanie Vaquer is on the path to putting Rhea Ripley over at WrestleMania.
Oh no.
Yep. Rhea Ripley's going to win the Royal Rumble this year, and she's going to go on to defeat her.
Maybe she beats Rhea Ripley and they keep elevating her. Let's go.
Rhea Ripley's the ultimate goal. I'm telling you, that's the ultimate goal, and they can't have her have it all the time. And this big break's been her cool-off period, so she hasn't been able to take everything. And eventually, like I'm telling you this, and it's going to be her and Liv.
You're
too.
right. I don't doubt it. But man, so we're going to move on here, and we had John Cena versus AJ Styles, and John Cena won. This was a great fucking match. I mean, I can't say enough good things about this match. This John Cena's best match of all time, most likely. You know, I'd have to go back and watch some of the other things of his that are considered to be his greatest matches of all time. But I think this safely sits upon the top of that one. This match was insane. I really enjoyed this. As close as Cena's ever going to get to a 5-star match. What did you think of this?
I like when he went and did the skull-crushing finale or whatever.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then, he did the little catch move with the tombstone and all that. And just pretty solid match.
Really good storytelling. Great callbacks to...
Yeah, they had about like 10 different callbacks, I feel like.
Yeah. And normally that sort of thing would be excessive, but it just fit perfectly in this match. And these guys put on a master class in wrestling.
Yeah, and now AJ's going to start his retirement tour here on out.
People in the future, this will be one of those matches that folks study, you know?
It was a good one for sure.
It was. Well, we're going to move on. We got Io Sky and Rhea Ripley defeating the Kabuki Warriors, and this was a decent match. Everybody performed really well. I wasn't like turbo blown away by it, but a really good match still.
Yeah, Io Sky
What'd you think?
and Asuka, they lay it in on each other. You see that one drop kick, whatever that like Sky got on Asuka, and she you could see her actually kick Asuka's head, but this is pretty good, and this won't be the end of this because they had that little beat down segment or whatever. Was it in backstage later or no? It was they beat Rhea up is what happened.
Yeah.
That's it. It was a good match.
Really good match, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this will be on the next pay-per-view too.
Oh yeah. Then we had the match of the night, main event type of thing. Not match of the night, but the main event. World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins defeating the undisputed WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. I wasn't sure where they were going to go with this. I was kind of leaning Seth Rollins because Cody has won the other 3 matches, and it just makes sense that you can't just have him steamroll him the whole time. It was like Kane and the Undertaker. Kane eventually got some back on the Undertaker. I wasn't sure how they were going to get to there, and they did a really good job with this match. And they had the unfortunateness of having to follow Cena and AJ.
I feel like this is going to be like the beginning of Cody Rhodes turning or something like that. Like this is where he starts to second guess himself.
Maybe.
I thought this was a good match, but not as good as I was expecting. But when you see Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, you're expecting like perfection, and it was a pretty great match. I'm interested to see what happens on Raw here later.
Yeah, I can't wait to put that on. I was gonna watch some of it earlier, but I've managed to not spoil any of it so far. So we're doing great. And speaking of doing great, we're gonna move on to high point, low point. And TJ, what was your high point?
Cena and Styles, but I think that would be most people's on this show.
How could it be anything else? When I wrote the stuff up, go ahead and expand on that if you would like.
That's all I was saying. It's an all-time classic, So I don't feel like
Literally.
any other match on this card could qualify for that. So.
Yep. When I was writing this up, I wrote, I can't believe that I'm saying this for the high point, because you would never catch me saying a Cena match is the high point, like 99.9% of the time. But Cena versus Styles, without question, the greatest Cena match of all time, potential for match of the year. And like I said, as close to 5-star a match as Cena probably ever had in his life.
Yeah, good stuff. I wonder what old Davey Boy is going to rate it. 4.
I bet you he's gonna give it like a 3.5 or something dumb. He's a real ignorant motherfucker.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all if that were the case. But where are we at now? We at the low point.
Low point.
Okay.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us what yours was? You kind of told us a little bit earlier. Let's finish that part up.
Bronson Reed and Reigns. But I think another reason that I put this as a low point is because, I've been pretty burned out on the whole Reed and Breaker stuff. I talk about that every week where I'm just like, oh man, this shit again. So.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad though.
I'm still digging it, but it's not, I don't know, something's missing now from that group. I don't know how to put my finger on it. Well, the aura that was there is not quite there. I don't know what has happened.
We're going to figure it out.
But anyway, yep. My low point was really hard to pick. All the matches were really good, but if you put a gun to my head, I picked Io and Rhea versus the Kabuki Warriors. Even though Io and Asuka were really laying it in there, it was just, there were times that the match was kind of like sloppy, just a little uncoordinated. And given how good that all 4 of the gals were in the ring, and how good everything else was on the card, I was just like, all right, well, you got to pick something. So that was it. And we'll move on to rankings. TJ, what was yours?
I gave it a 7.
Wow.
Yeah, this is better than what they've been doing, for sure.
Yep. And, I was thinking about giving it a 7, and I ended up giving it an 8. I don't know if that's because of how shitty everything else has been lately, but this was a really good PLE. I can't say enough good things about it. And, when you have a match that is going to be somebody's greatest match of all time and all the other matches are, really good as well, it's hard to not score it high. So good job. High marks all around for this PLE from Dave and TJ. That's nice.
Yeah, it was good stuff. And speaking of some other stuff that I feel like this was like my shocker of the weekend, and this is when this is the only show that I feel like I watched live over the week.
Yep.
Or over the second part of the week. So it was TNA Bound For Glory, October 12th, 2025. They ended up having I think almost a sellout. It was 7,997. So they were 3 away from 8,000 or something like that. They were really close.
It was 7,794.
Okay, but they were close to getting 8,000 either way, which is their best North American attendance ever.
Yep.
But yeah, they were in the Songa Center in Lowell, Massachusetts, which there's nothing going on there. So if you've never been there, I would recommend maybe steering clear that certain part of the planet, dude. But for anybody that lives there, it's a great place, and we hope you're really enjoying it. But
especially if you like our show.
Absolutely. But yeah, so we got these quick match results that we're going to jump into right here. We got Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian, and they won the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. And this is, I knew some of these guys, but this was kind of cool. I didn't hate this by any means.
It was much more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. And I was amazed at how many of the people that I knew who they were
Yeah.
from watching TNA back in the day, or watching other brands, but specifically some of the older TNA guys like Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian is one of the winners. Like Kazarian is one of the OG TNA guys.
Matt Cardona, Santino.
Yeah.
They had more than
Nick
that. but-
Nemeth is Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, his brother was in there too.
His brother sucks.
Remember, he was in AEW for a little bit, and it didn't work out too good. I think he tried.
He was
suing
like talking
them.
shit about Punk and everything. Dork.
Yeah, well, he was friends with the Bucks and all that, so it's not a surprise. But, anyways, we'll move on, and it was the System, and they defeated Order 4 in a 10-person intergender hardcore war. This confused me. They were coming out. Was this a match where they were coming out also like the world, like different intervals?
I think so, yeah. And I was kind of confused as to what the hell is going on.
You remember at first I was like, Dave, are you watching this? And you were like, yeah, the guy has like a sledgehammer and he's walking out. And I'm like, yeah, what is this? Didn't they just do this?
I honestly thought that the prior match was continuing somehow, even though we had just clearly saw the two winners.
Yeah.
So, but
it was confusing.
If we weren't already intent on watching the whole card, this might have been the part where I shut it off, which would have been a disservice to how good the rest of the pay-per-view actually ended up being. Spoiler alert, everybody, in case you're hoping to listen to a shit on it.
Well, this next one I kind of spaced out on, and I didn't really watch Tessa Blanchard and Gia Miller, so I can't really speak on if it was good or not.
I mostly enjoyed this, and then Tessa Blanchard was talking about today that she's going to get herself some fake boobies, so she's gonna be gone for a little bit. Yeah, good for her. If you're gonna be happy and you're gonna have big old jugs, I'm happy for you too. Whatever makes you happy, I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we had the Inspiration, Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay defeating the Elegance brand, Heather and M, and they retained the TNA Knockouts tag titles. And I was surprised this wasn't a bad match by any means. I think that all the girls in this match could easily be on the WWE main roster, and they would probably do pretty well on the AEW roster.
Well, all of these girls used to be in NXT.
Well, that shows you. Oh, Ash by Elegance, is that chick?
Right.
That shows
and
you
then
how much
the Inspiration were the Iconics.
All right. That makes complete sense. That shows you how much I was paying attention to these people's names and who they really were. I didn't really watch NXT too much, but all of them seemed like good hands to me.
Right? You were watching it and you're like, this is more polished than I was expecting. Like in your mind, you're like, these girls know how to work.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. But
hell yeah.
Then we had Leon Slater versus Javon Evans in a no contest. This was probably one of the best matches of the weekend.
Yeah, this was a really good match. Both of these guys have bright futures. Obviously, Javon has been featured heavily on SmackDown recently, an NXT guy, but Leon Slater, was kind of under the radar guy. But after this match, I think he's going to be getting a little bit more notice in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed this match a lot. It's a stinker that it ended in that no contest, but
people are pissed off about that. Did you see
the 5 more minutes thing with Santino and all that, and then they started it off, and then they came out and interrupted it. But the match will happen. So
they're gonna run this one back.
Yeah.
This will be like on the NXT, the coming up NXT pay-per-view, probably the Halloween Havoc. What's that, like in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll probably watch that one too.
Yeah.
Well, at least I will.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I really enjoyed this, so why not? Then we had Steve Macklin defeating Frankie Kazarian, and he won the TNA International Championship. This was a good match. This was probably one of the, I enjoyed almost everything on this, but this was like one of the lower. I was less excited about this than most of the other stuff on the card, but it was still good.
Right. I didn't know who Steve Macklin was prior to this match.
Me either.
And, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect much, and these guys put on a pretty good match.
Yeah, it's funny because, my maximum, or the most exposure that I've had with Frankie was the beginning days of AEW. Where,
SCU.
yeah, where he and what's that guy's name? Where the tag team
Scorpio
champs.
Sky.
Yeah, there you go. But anyways, we'll move on. We got the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, and they defeated Team 3D, Bully Ray and Devon, in one final tables match, and they retained the TNA and NXT tag titles. And then Team 3D ended up retiring. They took their boots off and handed them to the Hardys afterwards. This was an awesome match. I had to watch this. There was no way I was going to miss it. And it delivered. You know, they were all older. I didn't expect what we had back in the day, but man, it was pretty solid stuff.
I enjoyed this match thoroughly. Nice old school storytelling, and they did a great job. And this was the match that we watched the pay-per-view for. So obviously, you know, we're going to like this one a lot, but good job to everybody else for catching our eyes while we were there for something else. You know, hopefully other people feel the same way, and they saw the same stuff that, like, I'm going to start watching TNA more now because of this.
That's the goal, right?
You know, this was a good, yeah. And maybe we might even start covering TNA. Who knows? I mean, that's it. Who knows? Maybe.
Well, the next one here,
it's a lot.
I had actually ended up turning it off after the last match with the Team 3D and Matt and Jeff. So I can't tell you what this next match was like.
I thought that was the main event, but I can tell you that I thought this was a pretty good match, and Santana was kind of the underdog coming into the match. It was one of those things where, like, you figured Trick was probably going to win somehow. A lot of wrestling fans, us included, know Santana's story. You know, he did TNA, he did AEW. You know, he did a whole lot of independence, and now he's the world champion. He bet on himself. Things didn't work out in AEW. He was unhappy, and here he is now. He's got the belt.
Santana and Ortiz.
Yep. He had a nice emotional, like, he brought his daughter in, and she was wearing, like, his biker cut vest thing that he had, you know, and giving her big old hugs, and, you know, they had the title. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. I saw some clips of that, the after match stuff, but I'm not trying to sound like a dickhead, but after watching Santana and Ortiz and AEW, I did not want to watch this match.
Right, it's hard to see him as a top guy, but after watching this match, it a little easy. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm, like, super into him, but, you know, a little bit more believable as a singles guy that can be taken seriously now.
Now watch this drive.
Oh wow!
Just smashes it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. But that being said, it's high point, low point time. And we're going to jump to my high point here, and that was the Hardys versus the Dudleys. And I know that yours are going to be the same, because why wouldn't it be? And let me go over some reasons here. Nostalgia, respect, a good match, a build, and just we're the audience that this match was for.
Yep, stakes, storytelling, legacy, you know, it was all there. Pretty happy with it. But you know, also shout out to the whole card. That's right. It ended up being way better than I expected. And let's move on to the low point. What was your low point, TJ?
I know we have the same one here too, and that was that intergender match. It was just confusing and had a lot of people that I wasn't really sure who they were, and they were kind of strange characters to me. But I mean, I don't really know what to say about this, and I don't know, just weird.
I don't necessarily like to see the guys wrestling the gals, you know.
Me either.
This sounds very gay.
Sometimes there are times that it works. I cannot deny that. This, unfortunately, was not one of those times. But we're going to move on to show rankings. And what'd you rank it, TJ? Oh, wow. Thanks, Tony. What did you rank this, TJ?
I ranked this a 6, and
wow.
I'm going to give a reason why, partially too. This is a good show, and it may have even been better than that. But like I told you, I noticed that the commentary was really good here. You know, I grew up on the two-man booth. I know you did too, so I'm kind of partial to that being the the commentary group the form that I like listening to instead of like the AEW 3 or 4. But these guys did a great job. I'm not sure who either one of them are, but they didn't goof around. It was a sports-like presentation. They were serious. They told the background of the people that were wrestling, their athletic endeavors. They broke down everything very well. They did great.
They weren't screaming at you.
Yeah, they blew the AEW commentary booth out of the water, and I think they're even better than the WWE one.
Yeah,
they did awesome.
I mean, they did a really good job. That was something that you and I kept talking about during the show a little bit. It was refreshing how good the commentary was, and we'll have to learn who those guys are. It's a shame that we don't know, so we can't give them their proper respects here on the show. But if you gentlemen are out there and you hear this, good job. You made the show better. And I'm not sure if I wanted to give it a 5 or a 6. I got to decide during the segment here. Initially, I went with a 5, but I think I'm going to go ahead and round on up to the 6 and copy TJ here. I think this was a better than average wrestling pay-per-view. And everybody should be very proud of the job that they did.
Absolutely. I agree. And both the commentators were... Cracker!
They were, but they knew a lot. And like you said, they just delivered it very well.
Absolutely. And that wraps up our 4 reviews of Wrestling of the Evening. It was a packed week of wrestling. But let's get on out of there. We're going to move on to that news type stuff that I think we occasionally talk.
Oh.
And I got news for you.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Here he is. He's back again.
Yeah, well.
Cracker!
Oh, no, I don't have those other sound bites anymore. Never mind.
All right,
That's
well.
okay.
My mother's a fucking whore.
I think I'm jumping us into most of these here, so let's dive on in.
Sounds good.
And then, so we got some rumors here. Most of this shit's rumors, but we try not to cover the stuff unless we think it's legit, and we cover our spin on it. So we're going to give you
or
our
if
spin.
we want to make fun of it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
We might do a little bit of that here. But, so this is Bayley to AEW, and we're kind of saying here, I wouldn't hold your breath on that. So there's this rumor going around that Bayley might jump ship to AEW.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know, man. I just don't see that happening.
Same, she's been in WWE forever, and they clearly like her, right? She's not getting the world title spotlight every week, but, she is featured, she's steady, and they trust her to elevate the younger talent these days.
Yeah, exactly. She's in that sweet spot. She's not the face of the division, but she's the one holding it together. She's kind of like their safety net, if you will.
Right? The person you put in a match when you actually need it to make sense.
Yeah, like, hey, this new call-up's still figuring it out. Throw her in with Bayley.
Yeah, AEW's got the talent, right? But, it's a totally different environment. Their in-ring style, it's definitely a faster pace. There's less structure, and a lot of people end up getting lost in the shuffle over there.
Yeah, people think AEW's some promised land, but there are plenty of folks just sitting around catering over there, too.
Yeah, exactly. And just because you left WWE, it doesn't mean that Tony Khan's going to magically book you better, right?
Yeah, and I like AEW, don't get me wrong, but Bayley would really have to change up her in-ring style to fit that system. AEW's go, 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 and WWE is more character-driven.
She's a storyteller too, mainly. AEW's full of matches that are all gas, no breaks, Fatu style, I guess. And I don't feel like that's been her style, for the past 15 years.
Yeah, and the only real reason this rumor is even floating around is Mercedes Moné. They're best friends, and Mercedes is over there now.
Yeah, I think people see that and go, oh, well, maybe they might reunite over there, like in some kind of high school reunion, and they're picking lockers next to each other or something. Maybe locker rooms.
Exactly. Just because your best friend works somewhere doesn't mean you throw away 10 years of job security.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Bayley does have security over there. They're not going to let her go anywhere. She's a lifer, I believe. They'll always find something for her to do, even if she's doing production or, something in the back.
Yeah, she's in that Dolph Ziggler zone, except they actually still use her on TV.
Yeah, so, like, did they actually not use him for a while? Because I felt like they were still using him even when he wasn't, like, going anywhere. Was there a large chunk where they left him in the back?
I'm not sure. I feel like a little bit, kind of towards the end there, he was not being seen as much.
Okay. But anyways, could she end up in AEW one day though, Dave? Like maybe, but I wouldn't bet on it happening anytime soon. Would you?
Yeah, no, unless Tony Khan shows up with a check big enough to make her forget the Performance Center exists, she's definitely staying put.
Yeah, like so. It's funny, like. You remember they were talking, she's doing some kind of weird, like, bipolar character now, if that's what you would call it. Maybe that would work in AEW, but imagine her hugger gimmick in AEW. I don't think that would work at all. She'd just be sitting there oh, give me a hug. She'd have those inflatable. It just doesn't feel, nothing about her character really fits the AEW vibe to me.
Plus, who wants to hug AEW fans? You know, we know what those shows smell like.
Yeah, from firsthand experience, those shows stink. I haven't been to a WWE show before, so I don't know if the fans stink there, but I just know that the AEW fans definitely, there's a lot of reekage going on at the AEW show. Yep. Well, thanks for that little addition there, Clayton. That's, wow. What a treat that is to have you join us. But that being said, what do you give this 0 out of 10? What do you give it? Her going to AEW.
-10. This is never gonna happen. She's a WWE lifer. This is like dumbass Dave Meltzer or Vince Russo or whoever the hell said this. People are dumb.
All right, well, I think I agree with you. If I really gave it a real number, I think it'd be like a 2 out of 10. Not very likely, but there is a small chance. But speaking of chance, I think we're going to chance our asses over to this other little segment here that we're going to be talking about in the next couple segments or seconds. And that's talking about a little bit of that network drama that we were talking about with AEW a couple weeks back, maybe about a month actually. So we got a quick update on that Warner Brothers Discovery thing that we talked about a while back. And Paramount actually did make an offer to buy out Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah, and Warner Brothers basically said, thanks, but no thanks. And they rejected it flat out.
Which for AEW fans, you know, we feel like it's worth paying attention to. Basically, that's the company that pays AEW. And if Warner Brothers Discovery ever got bought out, whoever takes over decides, you know, what happens with AEW's TV rights deal.
Yeah, your whole Dynamite and Collision schedule could be one merger away from ending up on Tubi or the Food Network.
What, like coming up next, Bryan Danielson versus Samoa Joe, followed by dinners, drive-ins, and dives.
Ooh, Triple D. I'd watch that, though. Guy Fieri's taking bumps at ringside.
He'll be taking bumps, but I don't know if they're the kind that me or you might think that he's taken. But
Oh, I mean, kitchen workers.
oh, okay. Well, that's 100% true. Welcome to Flavortown Collision.
But seriously, Warner Brothers rejecting Paramount's first offer probably means that they're not desperate to sell yet.
I mean, that's how negotiations go, though. You know, you never take the first one. But anyways, they are in cost-cutting mode over at Warner Brothers Discovery. But they're still trying to look strong, I guess, before their next round of negotiations pop up with whoever else they're in negotiations with.
And that matters for AEW because if new ownership ever did happen, you have no idea what that means for their TV slot, their app placement, or even their budget.
Exactly. So for now, AEW's safe, but if this corporate tug-of-war keeps going, Tony Khan better have a backup plan that doesn't involve airing Dynamite on Twitch.
Yeah, tonight's episode brought to you by ChatGPT and whatever's left of WCW Thunder's production crew.
Oh, shit. So yeah, that was just a little quick update we wanted to give you. Paramount tried to buy Warner. Warner said no. And AEW is going to stay where it's at for now. But just remember, there's plans for either way for HBO Max and Discovery content to completely split. So the sports side, which AEW currently is going to be going on the Discovery Plus side. So there's no mentions about them actually going with Discovery Plus when this happens, but there's no real mentions about anything because it's all in the early stages. So, you know, for everything we know, they might not even be on HBO Max next year. They might be on Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
Which would be,
who knows?
Which will be something else because they then went out of their way to do all this pay-per-view stuff. But that's something else that we'll discuss when we get there.
Cross that bridge when we get to it. We'll shoot the troll that's underneath it.
Well, speaking of crossing that bridge, we're going to cross that bridge into this next segment here. And I think this is going to be one that you're really going to like, Dave. So how we were just talking about a WWE star going to AEW. Well, we have, I think, another WWE star that people are talking about going, and it's from a very, very reliable source. So,
oh boy.
Is John Cena going to AEW, Dave? Well, this is what Vince Russo happens to be saying. So apparently Vince Russo said on his writing with Vince Russo podcast that AEW's been in contact with John Cena.
Oh yeah, sure. Let me guess. He heard that from the same sources that told him WCW was fine in 2000.
Oh, one himself. So exactly though, Russo says stuff like this every few months just to get his name trending again.
I love that this guy still acts like he's got insider info. When the last company that actually listened to him went out of business.
The last two, right? But the only inside source that Russo's got are the voices inside his head from when he was working in that CD store that went out of business.
Yeah. He's back there alphabetizing Creed albums and muttering, "Bro, Cena's going to AEW, bro."
It's insane. Cena's literally retiring in WWE this year. He's not going anywhere, and Russo's saying he's going to AEW.
Yeah. And what's he going to do? Wrestle his retirement match on Collision in front of 900 people and a camera crew trying to hide the empty seats?
Yeah. The champ is here, and please scoot down. We're taping this side for TV.
Cena's a WWE lifer. That's home. He's moving into acting full-time, probably producing with the company down the road.
There's no word where So there's no world where he's going to walk out under that AEW logo. Like, it's just not happening.
Nah. Russo just says this stuff because it gets clicks. That's it.
Yeah, it's like his version of GoFundMe. Every rumor's just a cry for engagement or somebody to donate a couple bucks to him on YouTube.
Please watch my podcast, bro. Cena's going to show up next to Darby Allin.
Yeah, good luck with that. There's zero chance of that it's just not happening. No world.
None. Cena's staying with WWE till he dies, probably buried under the Titantron with a never give up towel.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a more fitting send-off for him, I guess. He's not getting up from underneath that thing, I guess, unless Big Show lifts it up. He's the only guy that could do it, right? So, if you gave the Bayley one earlier going to AEW percentage or a chance, what would you give this one?
Oh, even less than Bayley.
Yeah.
Way less.
Yeah, it's like he's literally. So Russo was saying that like, oh, he's unhappy with how his retirement's gone, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? I feel like he's had a hand in how it's gone. So, maybe the heel stuff, yeah, but I mean they tried, and could you imagine him over in AEW? Like, what's he gonna do there?
No.
Who's he gonna work with?
Nothing.
Nobody.
Nope. MJF is the only person that I would want to see him work with over there. I don't want anybody else in that.
An Edge.
Edge.
That's it. Maybe
That's
even
it.
Christian wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
But beyond
Christian would be like, "Hey there,
Kenny.
John Cena.
Kenny would be all right.
You have a father."
Yeah. And his dad would show up since he likes being on the shows.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
That would be awesome. Yeah, Christian would get his dad for sure.
You guys will like this one. So, we'll keep you updated on this story. And if there's any news on John Cena joining AEW, just stick tuned to OverMark and we'll let you know for sure. Thanks, Vince Russo, for the update. Yeah, what a goof.
Dumbass. Yeah.
All right, so.
You know what they said about Russo, though, I heard?
What?
Get him out of here!
Oh.
He's got AIDS.
I heard that. I heard that for
AIDS?
sure.
Nobody's got AIDS.
Did he hang up on him?
Wow. I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know. Oh, he did. It just took him a second.
Tony was pissed. He hung around for a second. All right, so
he was waiting to see what kind of response he was going to get, and he didn't hear it, so he...
That leaves us a perfect transition into our fucking next segment because we were talking about somebody being pissed. Well, we're going to talk about Triple H being pissed because he got trolled in Australia. So after Crown Jewel just wrapped up in Australia, they did their little post-show Q&A thing with Triple H.
Yeah, the crowd that stuck around, probably a few hundred diehards, still half buzzed off of overpriced beer.
Yeah, and while Hunter's just doing his little whole, what a great night for WWE spiel, somebody started yelling for Edge.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so then more people started joining in. They start singing Edge's theme, like full on, you think you know me type stuff.
On this day, I see clearly.
Yeah, and you can see Triple H's face just tighten up a little bit.
You know the look he gets when he's trying to act cool, but he's dying inside. The I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed face.
Exactly, and that's kind of the best part about this. He actually says at one point, "Well, you can't have him."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a dad trying to explain to his kid why the dog went to live on the farm.
He was basically should have just said that he's playing touch butt in the park, guys.
I love that the fans let Hunter know that they want the match, even though it can't happen for obvious reasons.
That's wrestling fans, right? You give them a microphone and they'll find a way to make it awkward.
Yeah, and Triple H handled it fine, but deep down he's thinking, this is why we don't do Q&As anymore.
Next time, we're going to be hitting the pyro and going home. Screw the Q&A. Screw the post-show.
Well, fans will chant anything to attention, or for attention, and they'll do and say anything. When Rhea Ripley was up there, they were chanting, Asuka is a shit cunt. And it broke Rhea, and she was laughing. And Kathy Kelly's like, oh, this is a family show, you guys.
Is it? Is it really?
I don't
know.
Asuka's a shit cunt, according to the Australian fans. I don't know. They said it, not me.
I think it is to some extent, but anything where you have violence and like chicks barely wearing anything, I don't know how family it really is. Definitely a lot of adult themes in there, adult topics, and I don't know. I think like we said, it's kind of funny that they did this, and it would be awesome to see Edge wrestle against Cena one more time, but it's not in the books, and these fans know why. I feel like anybody that would have gone to the show is probably somewhat a hardcore WWE fan. They know AEW exists, and they know that Edge is over there.
I would love to be able to see Edge and Cena one more time. I don't think it would be able to live up to what Cena and AJ just did. I don't think that anything that Cena does for the next 4 dates of his career is going to be able to measure up to the match that him and AJ put on.
Well, we always hype up AJ. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's one of the best.
Modern Shawn Michaels.
Maybe he's better than Shawn Michaels. Who knows? He's great in the ring, man. Like
he really is.
He's just got a completely different style. Shawn was maybe a little bit more athletic. But speaking of athletic, we have a really athletic guy that we're going to be talking about next, and that is Sir Vince McMahon. And this is about Vince's yacht. And it might be something that, if you know Vince, you don't find too surprising. So, Dave, have you ever wondered what Vince McMahon might name his yacht if he had a yacht?
Oh, boy. I'm really scared to ask. What's it called? The non-disclosure agreement?
It might as well be. The man owns a 47-foot sports yacht, and it's literally named Sexy Bitch.
Sexy Bitch? That's not a boat. That's an HR violation with a motor.
Exactly. Like, this man's public image is already circling the drain, and he's out there captaining the SS deposition.
It's so perfectly Vince, though. He's the kind of guy who'd stand at the bow, flexing and screaming, I'm a genetic jackhammer, while everyone else on board files a complaint.
The article even said that it's absolutely on brand, and they're right, because Vince's brand is 90% denial and 10% tanning oil. Well, it might be a little bit more than that, too.
And you just know he's got some poor intern swabbing the deck in a 3-piece suit while he's yelling about the Attitude Era.
That name alone to me feels like Exhibit A in whatever that next lawsuit's going to be. It's like, what do you do on that thing?
Dude, imagine being the harbor worker who has to say out loud, now docking, sexy bitch.
Sir, your yacht's ready. Oh, God, he's in the robe again.
It's like the perfect metaphor for his whole career. Loud, tacky, and constantly one wave away from sinking.
The man, he looked at all the options, Titan Sports, the chairman, Mr. McYacht, and he said no to all those. Let's go full midlife crisis.
Honestly, naming it Sexy Bitch was probably the least creepy thing he's done in a couple of years.
That's really sad, but it's probably true.
Somewhere out there, there's a boat just drifting around Florida like, please don't Google my owner.
Coming to Netflix soon, Making Waves, the Vince McMahon story.
Yeah, pal. You're going to come and you're going to get on my sexy bitch. Ah.
No.
Come on, give us yours.
I don't even know what to say. He'd probably be giving it like a Vince McMahon announcer desk style hype up at first. He'd be like, well, we got a great sale here on the sexy bitch. And then he'd fucking, I don't even know. He'd probably call the guy pal, like you said.
You're gonna get on my sexy bitch.
Shit on this girl's head, pal.
You're gonna get on my sexy bitch, and you're gonna like it, pal. And they're like, sexy bitch.
You're gonna have a threesome with this girl, and while you're inside her, I'm gonna poop on her.
Oh no! What are you talking about? Sexy bitch over and over, or sexy bitch over and over against for? Or man, I'm messing up. What are you talking about? Sexy bitch over and over again, Vince for?
Just shut up and get on the sexy bitch, you stupid cunt.
Yeah. And then in the background, Rick coming in.
Now sign this NDA.
Yeah.
Please, you gotta sign it. You can't get on the sexy bitch without signing the NDA. You can't do it, pal.
I don't want to hear that word here again.
It can't be done.
Sorry, all right, sorry. I got my Vince McMahon impression out for the week.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna go ahead and get on out of here if you don't have anything else to add.
Yeah, we should. That sounds a little complicated, though.
Why's that?
I don't know.
I'm sure it gets complicated when you're taking it up your fag ass.
Well, Tony. He's a.
Oh
my God.
Phil.
He's a fag.
Wow, he is, isn't he?
Son of a bitch.
Well, I guess we've gotten to the Sopranos portion of the episode where we just spam.
Maybe you're a fag. You ever think about that?
Yeah, that's something for everyone to consider out there. Maybe we all are. I know I am.
We need to do a what do we learn at the end of every single one of these episodes? Oh man, where's it at? I can't find it. I know it's here somewhere. Just here it is. But what did we learn?
Maybe you're a fag. You ever think about that?
Wow.
That's the lesson for this episode. That's a good one, isn't it?
Well, how about if I know one when I see one?
Maybe he could or couldn't. That's something that we're going to discuss next time. But I'm going to wrap us on up out of here. We're going to see you next Friday. We've been doing these Fridays, so you'll see us next Friday, most likely. We're going to do what is it? Raw. We're about to watch that, and we're going to do Dynamite, and then we're going to do whatever else we want to. So maybe some wrestling stuff. Maybe we're going to do a whole segment on the stinkiest turds in the medieval times.
Maybe we'll watch TNA on Thursday.
Maybe we'll see about that.
See what the fallout is from this pay-per-view.
Okay, maybe we'll do that. But
maybe
check out the social media at OverMark ENT. We appreciate everybody for checking us out. I appreciate you, like always, Dave. We're the OverMark brothers in arms.
That's right.
I'm going to go ahead and sign off out of here. I'm going to hand it to you, and then we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Have a good night, guys. We appreciate you.
Hell yeah. Thanks for the fun show, TJ. Much love, and much love to all of our listeners out there. And we're going to get the hell out of here. See you guys later.
TJ's yelling at a gift, Dave's eating crab. We skipped our bills to watch Raw live and ranked 800 wrestlers just to survive.